People say not to judge a book by its cover, and I do agree with it for the most part. However, I believe there are a few key things that you could really tell about someone just from looking at them, and like there will be the truth that is revealed through their face. And the one thing that you could definitely see with someone, almost 100% success rate, I truly believe this, is when you really look in their eyes. And this takes a bit of knowledge, right? You need to meet a lot of different people for you to be able to tell if you should be able to trust someone or like not trust someone or like how you feel about someone you when you look into their eyes. I know they say like eyes are the windows to the soul, all this like cliche stuff, but I really do think it's true. And the reason why is because your eyes over a prolonged period of time, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, eventually show your mental state inside, right? The dark circles will come out, the wrinkles will come out, right? The way that you look at, the way you gaze at someone will come out eventually. What you're thinking inside these dark thoughts or these good thoughts or who you are deep inside, this potential that you have or whatever you have inside you, your intelligence, whatever, or lack of intelligence, whatever, you could see it when you look at someone in their eyes. You could see the wisdom or lack thereof. I'm telling you, man. And a big reason why, like, let's go into like looks maxing and stuff. I've said this previously, but your eyes really do show your genetics, right? If you look at like animals, animals have different kinds of eyes, but if you look at predator animals versus prey kind of animals, predators are a lot sharper versus prey, tends to be a lot more upper eyelid exposure and whatnot. I think that one's a bit more cliche. I'm not telling you, hey, if you meet someone and they have buggy eyes, you should just not be friends with them because that's not necessarily true either, right? But there's something inside the genetics that can't be fabricated with the eye area because your eye area is fully based on genetics, not your development. Your jaw, you could get a bad jaw if you mouth breathe, right? You could change your haircut, right? You could dye your hair. You could have a big nose, whether it be genetics or from mouth breathing or a recessed maxilla or whatever. You could have bad orthodontic work, but all these things are somewhat fixable. And all these things are genetic, but also big on your development and your hormone profile, right? So if you had bad hormones from growing up, your jaw will be bad, or if you had good hormones, your jaw will be good. So that does show if someone has good hormones, or if they did have good hormones previously, right? But even if someone has like shitty ass genetics and they have like a shitty ass jaw or whatever, if you look in their eyes, you could see who they are. And if you get a bad instinct about someone, a gut instinct, when you look into their eyes and you really, really look, and you know deep down that there's something off. There's something off. Everything might even be perfect. They might have. I'm thinking about my one ex right now. She had great teeth, great everything, but every time I looked in her eyes, there was just something off. They were green, and they weren't. It was almost like it was a fake because the eyebrows were manipulated, the eyelashes were manipulated with like mascara and whatnot, and like everything was like perfected perfectly. But the second you see it without makeup, the true genetic line shows, and you could, and it's insane how humans perceive the eye area at such a high level of importance, because like change any actor's eyes to like Rami Malek's eyes or like just a bad eye area, and everything gets tossed out the window, and you completely perceive them in a different way. You see them either as weak or as sickly or as tired or not even human, right? And I'm not saying just don't like people who have bad eyes are just not human, right? But I'm telling you, judge a little bit by the eyes. Judge a good amount by the eyes. The eyes don't lie. They don't lie, man. They get decades of your mental energy, where your brain is, how you feel, the dark sins that you've committed or the sins that you have not committed will show on the face. This is said in the Bible. That's it.